Hi guys, we all know that Prelims 2026 was the most difficult, lengthy and abstract paper of UPSC's history. But the coaching industry has only responded by ranting rather than providing a workable roadmap for the next prelims exam. In this video, we will be sharing hard proofs with you to understand how we have been able to predict a huge number of questions year after year, including 40 plus questions this year, and how we have been doing so by following the very repetitive PIB and PYQ micro themes. At last, we'll discuss how we'll be helping you prepare for the present day radically changed prelims scenario. So guys, UPSC asked this question in prelims 2026 on Vizhinjam International Seaport. Now the PIB micro theme being followed here is first of its kind events. So for example, in this PIB release well before the prelims exam, release mentioned features of Vizhinjam Seaport, India's first dedicated container transshipment port. Similarly, guys, in 2025, there was this question on the first Kho World Cup. Now let's click on this class video, which was an active recall session, and understand as to how we had predicted this question well before the prelims exam. Now guys, when we click here, the timestamp becomes visible. It was uploaded on YouTube on May 20th, 2026. That is well before the prelims exam. YouTube पर uploaded है, although publicly available नहीं है. So let's see what was discussed in this class. So guys, विजिंजम पोर्ट काफी इंपॉर्टेंट है, प्लीज यहाँ पर स्टार मार्क करके रख दो. जितने भी पोर्ट्स हमने डिस्कस किए हैं सबसे ज्यादा पूछे जाने का पोटेंशियल अगर है तो विजिंजम का है. Guys, in the class it was discussed that among all the ports that were discussed, the highest likelihood of being asked was with regards to the Vizhinjam port. Now let's rewind a bit to understand what exactly was discussed at length about the Vizhinjam port. Guys, we have another port on the southern tip, Vizhinjam port, and this is very
Transshipment. Kerala.
This is very important.
First transshipment port.
Yes. So guys, transshipment as a concept क्या होता है?
सर यहाँ पे vessels आती हैं और फिर दूसरी डायरेक्शन में जाती हैं, जैसे सिंगापुर है ना.
The idea is guys, transshipment hub वो होते हैं जहां पर very huge sized vessels आते हैं. इंडिया में we did not have a transshipment hub. So जो कार्गो इंडिया के लिए आ रहा होता था, it has to first go to Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka has been traditionally a transshipment hub in Indian Ocean. ठीक है. फिर वो जो बड़े बड़े शिप्स होते हैं उनसे सामान अनलोड होता है रिलेटिवली स्मॉलर शिप्स पर, और फिर वो रिलेटिवली स्मॉलर शिप्स, हालांकि वो स्मॉलर शिप्स स्मॉल नहीं होते हैं, वो भी बहुत बड़े होते हैं, उनमें वो अनलोड होता है और वो शिप्स फिर आते हैं इंडियन पोर्ट्स के ऊपर. इंडियन पोर्ट्स जो है वो उतने बड़े शिप्स को हैंडल नहीं कर सकते. दैट यूनिट ट्रांसशिपमेंट हब्स. सो गाइस, सो ये सिर्फ इंडिया के लिए इसलिए इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है कि इंडिया में डायरेक्टली अब हम ट्रांसशिपमेंट कर पाएंगे. दिस इज एन इकोनॉमिक स्ट्रेटेजी. ट्रांसशिपमेंट हब्स गाइस दूसरे कंट्रीज की तरफ जाने वाले पोर्ट जो है यहाँ पर आएंगे, लोड करेंगे, अनलोड करेंगे, और उससे इंडिया जो है सो फॉरेन एक्सचेंज कमाएगा. इट इज एन अर्निंग पोटेंशियल. सो फार श्रीलंका हैड दैट डोमिनेंट स्पेस. इस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में यही इंपॉर्टेंट है, और इस पर अगर डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन आ जाए एग्जाम में तो कंफ्यूज होने की जरूरत नहीं है. दिस इज ऑन एक्सपेक्टेड लाइंस. कमिंग बैक टू द क्वेश्चन गाइस, हियर स्टेटमेंट 3 says by leveraging its natural deep draft and strategic location to reduce dependence on foreign transshipment ports, enhance revenue retention and reposition India a regional maritime trade. So this was very much being discussed in the class. So statement 3 is definitely correct. So if you choose statement 3, option A and option B are automatically eliminated. Statement 3 is common among option C and option D. Statement 2, it says by focusing primarily on passenger cruise tourism. Now guys, this is absurd. It is an international seaport that caters to transshipment domain. So statement 2 is definitely incorrect based on the discussion in the active recall class. Our students were able to easily mark the correct answer here. Moving ahead. So guys, this was the another question asked by UPSC in prelims 2026. It was on rare earth elements. A similar question was asked by UPSC in the previous year in 2025, again on rare earth elements. So based on both horizontal and vertical PYQ anchoring, this particular active recall session was conducted.
And this particular question of 2026 was predicted in this class. Let's see how. So guys, by clicking here, we can look at the timestamp. So this was uploaded on YouTube on May 23, 2026. That is one day before the prelims exam. Now guys, I am speeding up the video at 1.5x speed to keep the video quicker and better comprehensible.
Is rare earth में starting from scandium, yttrium, lanthanum, cerium. एक तो नाम इंडियन ही लगता है, प्रसाद वाला, प्रेसिडोनियम, न्यूडीनियम, प्रोमेथियम, सैमेरियम, यूरोपियम, गैडोलिनियम, टर्बियम, डिस्पोरियम, हेलियम, एर्बियम, थैलियम, यट्रिबियम, ल्यूथेनियम. कितने हो रहे हैं? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17. ना सॉरी, रेयर अर्थ में नहीं आएगा, क्रिटिकल में आएगा. Those minerals, those metals which are helping our economy to transition. उसमें सोलर एनर्जी, सोलर भी आ जाएगा, इसमें ईवी भी आ जाएगा. You saying something, सतीश?
सर क्रोमियम किसमें यूज होता है?
बैटरीज, नॉट क्रोमियम. बैटरीज में कोबाल्ट यूज होता है. क्रोमियम को हमने ट्रांजिशन में लिखा नहीं लिखा था गाइस, क्रोमियम को हमने फेरस में लिखा था. इट वाज कोबाल्ट. कोबाल्ट यूज होता है बैटरीज में.
So guys, not only the number of total rare earth elements was discussed, that is 17, the entire list was discussed in case UPSC chose to ask it. Also, the discussion was going on transition elements. This is relevant when we'll go back to the question and try solving it. Now let's rewind this class a bit to look at another important aspects being discussed.
Okay. Then guys, rare earth elements पर आते हैं.
चाइना सर.
कितनी खुशी के साथ बोल रहा है अनमोल, कितनी खुशी की बात है कि चाइना सबसे बड़ा प्रोड्यूसर भी है, सबसे ज्यादा रिजर्व भी चाइना के पास. हाँ, रिजर्व भी चाइना के पास ही है. और उस वजह से गाइस चाइना हैज द स्ट्रेटेजिक एडवांटेज. चाइना का चाहे दुनिया भर की डेवलपमेंटल एक्टिविटी दुनिया में रोक सकता है. जैसे भी स्ट्रेट ऑफ हॉर्मुज गाइस दुनिया के लिए एक चोक पॉइंट बना हुआ है. चाइना को किसी स्टेट की जरूरत नहीं है, वो दुनिया की सप्लाई चेन को चोक कर सकता है बस एक पॉलिसी डिसीजन से. राइट, ठीक है. सो इसमें बस नाम याद रखना है, नाम डायरेक्टली पूछे जाने की संभावना बहुत कम है. नियोडीनियम, सीरियम, लैंथेनम, डिस्प्रोसियम.
ये कंटेक्स्ट में भी मतलब एक जगह फेमस है ना.
क्या
इंडिया के कंटेक्स्ट में एक जगह फेमस है लिथियम को लेके.
वो सिर्फ फेमस है, प्रोडक्शन कुछ होता नहीं इंडिया में. इंडिया में लिथियम का प्रोडक्शन होता ही नहीं है. एंड दैट इज द कॉज ऑफ कंसर्न. इसलिए तो हमने बोला कि वी हैव टू बी केयरफुल कि हमारी एनर्जी डिपेंडेंसी कहीं लिथियम डिपेंडेंसी में कन्वर्ट ना हो जाए. राइट. नाउ गाइस, क्रिटिकल मिनरल्स के ऊपर आते हैं, ट्रांजिशन मिनरल्स के ऊपर आते हैं. ट्रांजिशन मिनरल्स वही है जो हमारी इकोनॉमी को ट्रांजिशन करने में मदद करते हैं. ठीक है, जैसे ईवी की तरफ हम जा रहे हैं, सोलर की तरफ जा रहे हैं, विंड, सेमीकंडक्टर्स, हाइड्रोजन इकोनॉमी, सो एंड सो फोर्थ. सो गाइस, यहाँ पे ट्रांजिशन मिनरल्स जो हमको ट्रांजिशन करने में मदद कर रहे हैं, उनकी लिस्ट दी गई है, एक बार देख लेना. लिथियम, कोबाल्ट, निकल, सिलिकॉन. सेमीकंडक्टर कॉन्टेक्स्ट में इसमें क्रोमियम होगा क्या अर्तिशा?
नहीं,
क्रोमियम नहीं होगा, कोबाल्ट होगा. ठीक है, बैटरीज में क्रोमियम यूज नहीं होता है, कोबाल्ट यूज होता है. एंड इट्स अ गेम ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी. देखो, टेक्नोलॉजी अगर एक देश के पास आती है अर्तिशा, इट हार्डली टेक्स टाइम फॉर इट टू माइग्रेट टू अदर कंट्री, स्पेशली कंट्रीज लाइक चाइना व्हिच इज सो इकोनॉमिकली एडवांस्ड. लगभग 17 ट्रिलियन की इकोनॉमी है चाइना की, एंड इट इज फास्ट मूविंग टुवर्ड्स ओवरटेकिंग यूएसए जिसकी लगभग 23-24 ट्रिलियन की है. गैलियम और जर्मेनियम, गैलियम आया था सुपर टेस्ट में. सो गैलियम इज यूज्ड इन सेमीकंडक्टर्स. सेमीकंडक्टर्स में होता है मतलब एलईडीज में यूज होता है, जबकि जर्मेनियम फाइबर ऑप्टिक्स और सोलर सेल्स में यूज होगा. बस इतना याद रखना है. जर्मेनियम जो है नॉट इन सेमीकंडक्टर्स बट फाइबर ऑप्टिक्स, सोलर सेल, मैंडेट बिल्कुल अलग है. क्यों ये हम देख रहे हैं गाइस कि ये दिस आर पार्ट ऑफ रेयर अर्थ्स गाइस.
हाँ,
गैलियम और जर्मेनियम. लेकिन चाइना हैज ऑलरेडी इंपोज्ड एक्सपोर्ट रिस्ट्रिक्शंस.
ओके.
which is a cause of concern. Export restrictions है गैलियम पर और जर्मेनियम पर.
Guys, coming back to the question, here statement 4 says rare earth elements are a set of 13 metallic elements. This is incorrect. In the class it was clearly discussed that rare earth elements is a group of 17 elements. If you eliminate 4, you are left with only option A and option B, in which 3 is common. So you have to decide about statement 1. Statement 1 says modern technological innovations including artificial intelligence, robotics and space exploration extensively utilize rare earth elements. So this was very much being discussed in the class with respect to transition elements, critical elements, so on and so forth. And again, statement 2 is definitely incorrect. China has highest share in mining of REs followed by India. Again, this was very much being discussed in the class that India is critically deficient when it comes to critical minerals, rare earth elements. Moving ahead, guys, UPSC asked this question in prelims 2026 on connectivity among countries or regions. Again, in 2023 UPSC had asked this question on connectivity among different regions, different countries. In this question, UPSC had asked about Golden Quadrilateral Trilateral Highway, BCIM, that is Bangladesh, China, India, Myanmar Economic Corridor. This particular class, horizontal PYQ anchoring was done. Now, in horizontal PYQ anchoring, we pay attention to the other related aspects, that are relevant to the given PYQ micro theme that are likely to be asked. Say, for example, in this year's paper, UPSC asked on Kaladan, IMT, Agartala, Aguara. So, if you don't do horizontal anchoring, you won't be able to focus on these other regional connectivity projects of India. So, let's click on this class to see how it was done and how this particular question was predicted. Guys, by clicking here, we can see the timestamp. This was uploaded to YouTube on May 21st, 2026. That is well before the prelims exam. I'm again increasing the speed to 1.5x.
Then guys, we had a question on the trilateral highway, India, Myanmar, Thailand. आपको बिना नोट्स में देखे दिमाग पर जोर डालकर मुझे बताना है कि इसके स्टार्टिंग और एंड पॉइंट्स क्या है और इसका रूट क्या है.
मणिपुर टू मैसूर इन थाईलैंड और इंडिया म्यांमार. सो म्यांमार में न्यूयॉर्क करके सर कुछ वहां पे आता है.
Naypyidaw is the new capital of Myanmar.
And then Mysore in Thailand. Yeah.
Mandalay guys, Mandalay.
Myanmar.
And Myavatty.
Irrawaddy.
Myavatty.
Very होगा Myanmar.
तो guys इस रूट में it's all M. मोरे in मणिपुर, ठीक है. फिर आप म्यांमार में जा रहे हो, Mandalay, Myavatty, Mysore in Thailand, ठीक है. तो अगर वहां पर यहाँ पर तो है नहीं राहुल, लेकिन अगर राहुल थाईलैंड से बैठता है Mysore से, उसको सारे स्टेशन M नाम वाले दिखने वाले हैं और मोरे पर वो उतर जाएगा मणिपुर में, राइट. और M से बोलेगा उतर के मेरा भारत महान, राइट. ओके, देन गाइस देयर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड द कलादान मल्टी मॉडल प्रोजेक्ट. क्या जानते हैं इसके बारे में?
म्यांमार से कनेक्टिविटी, चिकन नेक को सिक्योर करने के अल्टरनेटिव है.
सिक्योर करने के लिए नहीं, उसके अल्टरनेटिव के तौर पर है. मान लो किसी वजह से चिकन स्नेक ब्लॉक हो जाता है, राइट. सो हमको अल्टरनेटिव कनेक्टिविटी रूट चाहिए. तो हमारा एक अल्टरनेटिव तो है कि भाई हम नेशनल वाटरवे 2 इस्तेमाल करें, जो कि ब्रह्मपुत्र में है, डुबरी टू सादिया, ठीक है. दूसरा है वी एक्सेस इट थ्रू म्यांमार, ठीक है. अब कलादान रिवर से, इसका नाम गाइस कलादान पड़ा हुआ है, एक रिवर जिसमें मैरीटाइम कनेक्टिविटी का एलिमेंट भी है, इनलाइन वाटरवे भी है, रोड वे भी है, राइट. मैप पर देखो गाइस, मैप मिजोरम का बॉर्डर कहाँ कनेक्ट होता है जाकर?
बांग्लादेश और म्यांमार.
तो सो म्यांमार के साथ कनेक्शन है. यहाँ पर आप बाय रोड जाओगे, मैरीटाइम, इनलैंड वाटरवे और रोड. मैरीटाइम में गाइस कोलकाता से लेकर सितवे, ये मरीन शिपिंग आप करोगे. सितवे पोर्ट से गाइस पलेतवा, ये इनलैंड वाटरवे है, ठीक है. ये सब म्यांमार में है, ठीक है. एंड देन पलेतवा से मिजोरम आप जाओगे बाय रोड. पलेतवा कहां पर है? पलेतवा कहां पर है? म्यांमार. तो आप नॉर्थ ईस्ट को एक्सेस कर रहे हो वाया म्यांमार, सॉरी वाया मिजोरम, राइट. इसको ऐसे याद रखो, एम फॉर म्यांमार, एम फॉर मिजोरम. सार्क में म्यांमार नहीं है. तो एक कंट्री हटी सार्क से, पाकिस्तान, और बिम्स्टेक में 2 कंट्रीज आई. वन इज म्यांमार, अनदर इज योर थाईलैंड.
Coming back to the question, which of the following connectivity projects are a part of cooperation between India and the ASEAN member countries? Kaladan Multimodal Transport Project, yes. IMT Trilateral Highway, yes. It is the India, Myanmar, Thailand Trilateral Highway. So both of these, statement 1 and statement 2, were intensively discussed in the class. Statement 3 is incorrect. So there is only one option, option A, that has 1 and 2 together. That is in fact the correct answer, and our students were able to answer it easily. Moving ahead, guys, in prelims 2026, UPSC asked this question on an important parliamentary committee. Similarly, in 2024, UPSC had asked a question on ethics committee, which is another important parliamentary committee. So the micro theme here was parliamentary committees, and UPSC has been asking minute and integrate details about these parliamentary committees. So based on these insights, we had predicted this question almost verbatim as visible in this class. So guys, by clicking here, we can see at the timestamp, this class was uploaded on YouTube on April 27, 2026. That is well before the prelims exam. Again, I am increasing the speed of the class to 1.5x.
कैसे नियुक्त होते हैं गाइस? ये स्पीकर गाइस, इस पर क्लैरिटी होना बहुत जरूरी है. मेंबर्स ऑफ दीज 3 कमिटीज आर इलेक्टेड अमंग द मेंबर्स. इलेक्ट होते हैं, क्या बोल रहा हूँ राहुल?
नॉमिनेट होते हैं सर.
नॉमिनेट होते हैं, इलेक्ट होते हैं गाइस. लक्ष्मीकांत सामने है सबके, देखो. इलेक्शन फॉर द पीरियड ऑफ 1 ईयर, 1 साल का टेन्योर होता है.
सर इस टॉपिक में सिर्फ 2 चीजें सर याद नहीं होती, वो मेंबर्स वाली
हाँ.
और यही वो इलेक्ट वाला जो आप बता रहे सर.
तो अभी याद हो जाएगा, अभी याद हो जाएगा. इसमें परेशान होने वाली बात नहीं है. देखो गाइस, ये कितना कितना इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है और यहाँ पर हमको लैक ऑफ क्लैरिटी है. लिखो वहाँ पे 1 ईयर का टेन्योर होता है. और इलेक्शन तो होता ही है, लेकिन इलेक्शन भी स्पेसिफिकली सिंपल मेजोरिटी वाला खेल नहीं है. कैसे होता है इलेक्शन?
Proportional representation by single transferable vote.
लिख लो गाइस, लिख लो. राहुल, थोड़ी सी दिमाग की बत्ती जल रही है यहाँ पे? नहीं तो हम ऐसा सोच के चलते हैं. पॉलिटी और लक्ष्मीकांत पार्लियामेंट्री कमिटीज पे क्या डिवीजन करना है तो हमको आता है.
सर ये मैंने टॉपिक लास्ट 4-5 डेज पहले रिवाइज करूंगा, कमेटी ये भूल जाता हूं बार-बार.
ठीक है चलेगा. सो अभी आपने जो पॉइंट नोट किया है, दिस इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट.
हाँ, ये तो कभी नहीं भूलेंगे अभी.
राइट. यहाँ पर एक शॉर्ट हैंड याद रख सकते हो आप कि चेयरपर्सन जो होता है कमेटी का, वो स्पीकर डिसाइड करता है. चेयरपर्सन डिसाइड करेगा स्पीकर. राइट.
मतलब जो भी कमिटीज है उनका चेयरमैन स्पीकर सिलेक्ट करता है.
स्पीकर करेगा, क्योंकि कुछ कमिटीज में देखो राज्यसभा से भी मेंबर आ रहे हैं, लोकसभा से भी आ रहे हैं, तो देयर हैज टू बी वन अथॉरिटी विल बी डिसाइडिंग इट. सो इट्स स्पीकर. हाँ, जो राज्यसभा की कमिटीज होती हैं वहां तो चलो चेयरमैन ही करेंगे.
Right? Coming back to the question, guys. Your statement 1 says all the members of this committee are elected from both the houses of parliament. The chairperson of this committee is appointed by the chairman of the Rajya Sabha. So guys, this is patently incorrect as discussed in the class. Statement 2, 20 members are elected by Rajya Sabha and 10 members by Lok Sabha. Again, patently incorrect. Now, this is also commonsensical, guys. Lok Sabha is the larger house, so more members will always represent Lok Sabha and lesser members will represent the Rajya Sabha. Statement 3, no minister except the Union Minister of Social Justice and Empowerment is eligible to be a member of this committee. Again, guys, here members are elected and ministers have no role in such committees. Statement 4, members are elected for a fixed term of 2 years from the date they enter their office. So again, this was discussed in detail in the class that the tenure is for 1 year and not 2 years. So the correct answer here is option D. There is no correct statement, and this was very much predicted as visible in the class. Moving ahead. Now guys, in prelims 2026, UPSC asked this question on stealth technology. In 2025, UPSC had asked this question on 5th generation fighter aircrafts. So let's see as to how in this session vertical PYQ anchoring was done, and this particular question was predicted almost verbatim. Now guys, in vertical PYQ anchoring, whatever question has been asked earlier by UPSC, whatever keywords have been asked, a deep dive analysis is done. So for example, here the keyword was 5th generation fighter aircraft. So what is it that defines or determines the generation of an aircraft? And stealth capability is one of the most important determinants of different generations of fighter aircrafts. So let's have better clarity by clicking on this class. So guys, by clicking here, we can look at the timestamp. This was uploaded to YouTube on January 2, 2026. That is well before the prelims exam. Guys, again, I'm increasing the speed to 1.5x.
Last question on today's agenda. इसको पढ़ लेते हैं पहले. इरफान, पढ़ लो प्लीज.
Which of the following material is commonly used in the construction of stealth aircraft to reduce radar detection? A. Carbon fiber composites and radar absorbent materials. B. Aluminium and stainless steel. C. Titanium and concrete. D. Copper and glass.
The stealth aircraft, I know that which are for to avoid radar detection. So I know.
Guys, stealth is a very commonly visible thing in nature. नेचर में आपने नेशनल ज्योग्राफी के दूसरे चैनल्स पर देखा होगा कि कोई लेपर्ड या टाइगर अटैक करने के पहले वो कुछ करता है. वो शिकार को पहले ऑब्जर्व करता है और दूर से धीरे धीरे इस तरीके से उसके नजदीक जाता है कि वो डिटेक्ट नहीं हो पाता. शिकार को पता भी नहीं चलता कि वो प्रेडेटर, बीट टाइगर, बीट लेपर्ड और बीट अदर बिग कैट, इतने दूर से उसकी इतने नजदीक का पहुंच गया, शिकार को पता भी नहीं चलता. एंड देयर कम्स अ पॉइंट, इट कम्स ऑन अ पाउंसिंग डिस्टेंस, और वहां से वो अटैक कर देता है अपने प्रे के ऊपर. So that tiger or that leopard is acting very stealthily. Tigers are very stealth creatures. Fine. और वही कॉन्सेप्ट हम यूज कर रहे हैं नेवल वेसल्स पर, एयरक्राफ्ट पर। स्टेल्थ क्या मतलब होता है इसका? जब हम बोलते हैं कि एयरक्राफ्ट स्टेल्थ है, हमने एग्जांपल लिया टाइगर का, स्टेल्थी ऑपरेट करता है टाइगर। तो अगर एक एयरक्राफ्ट स्टेल्थ है, उसका क्या मतलब है, क्या मतलब हो सकता है?
डिटेक्ट नहीं हो पाएगा सर वो, और उसकी इन्फॉर्मेशन इकट्ठी करके चले जाएगा या फिर ऑपरेट करके चले जाएगा।
तो अगर एयरक्राफ्ट इंफॉर्मेशन गैदर करने के लिए बना है, जैसे ड्रोन्स भी होते हैं, सर्वेलेंस ड्रोन्स होते हैं, दे आर स्टेल्थ, इंफॉर्मेशन गैदर कर लेंगे, किसी को पता भी नहीं चलेगा इंफॉर्मेशन गैदर हो गई। और स्टेल्थ फाइटर एयरक्राफ्ट है, तो वो इतने नजदीक आ जाएगा, इतने कॉन्ड्यूसिव अटैकिंग पोजीशन में आ जाएगा कि दुश्मन को पता भी नहीं चलेगा कि कोई इतने नजदीक आ गया है, और वो अटैक कर देगा, जैसे टाइगर अटैक कर देता है। तो सिमिलरली अगर हमको स्टेल्थी कुछ बनाना है, इफ यू हैव टू इंक्रीज द स्टेल्थ कैपेसिटी ऑफ समथिंग, वी विल गो फॉर अ कंपोजिट ऑफ मटेरियल दैट इंक्रीजेस इट्स स्टेल्थीनेस rather than only going for aluminium, only going for stainless steel, right?
So guys, coming back to the question, statement 1 says stealth objects have a very small radar cross section and are coated with radar absorbing material. Guys, this was verbatim predicted as seen in the session. Statement 2, stealth objects can be detected using specific frequencies. Now guys, we use something called as feasibility test that is taught in our classes, and as students were able to choose statement 2 using that method. Statement 3, stealth objects are coated with materials to increase the scattering of electromagnetic radiation. This is opposed to what was being discussed in the class. So this particular question was also very much predicted well before the exam. Moving ahead. So guys, UPSC asked this question in Prelims 2026 on the Genome India project. A similar question was asked in 2021 on the recombinant vector vaccines. So the micro theme here was related to genetic advancements, and this particular question was predicted based on these two sessions. Let's have a look on the first session. So guys, by clicking here, we can see at the timestamp, this session was uploaded to YouTube on March 2027, 2026. That is again well before the prelims exam. I'm again increasing the speed to 1.5x. Guys, this was a post-test discussion. In this question, as you can see on the screen, there was a direct question on human genome project.
तो वही पूछ रहा होगा कौन से सही है।
बताओ जीवेश, तुम्हारा सही है, तुम्हारे ऑप्शन से आया था ये?
यस सर, मेरा भी हुआ है।
एंड थ्रू
स्टेटमेंट 1, 2, स्टेटमेंट 4 और स्टेटमेंट 7। सर 3 और 6 गलत है ना? हाँ 5 भी सही है, 3 और 6 यस सर, 3 और 6 स्टेटमेंट गलत है, बाकी सब सही है।
Similarly guys, let's look at this session, which was a PIB active recall session. Again guys, by clicking here, we can look at the timestamp. This session was uploaded to YouTube on May 23, 2026, again before the prelims exam. And guys, again I am increasing the speed to 1.5x.
क्या ह्यूमन जीनोम पूरी तरीके से सीक्वेंस हो गया गाइस? ह्यूमन जीनोम हैज बीन सीक्वेंस हो चुका है। कंप्लीट मैपिंग ऑफ ह्यूमन जीनोम हैज बीन डन। हमने कोशिश तो की है, लेकिन ग्लोबल लेवल पर जो ये प्रोजेक्ट है, ह्यूमन जीनोम प्रोजेक्ट इज अ ग्लोबल प्रोजेक्ट, किसी एक देश का नहीं है, राइट? साहिल?
यस सर,
इट इज अ ग्लोबल प्रोजेक्ट।
हमने मतलब 10,000 दिन से कर रहे हैं, ग्राउंड का सीक्वेंस लगा रहे हैं, और रिसर्च सेंटर भी बनाया सर, जो मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ साइंस सेंटर है।
ये तो होता ही रहता है, देखो ग्लोबल लेवल पर जो चीज चल रही होती है ना, हम नेशनल लेवल पर भी करते हैं। जैसे सीड वर्ल्ड ग्लोबल कहां पर है? स्वालबार्ड पर है। हमने नेशनल भी एक बनाया है, कहां पर है?
हानले में सर।
हानले में नहीं है,
नहीं, चांगथांग।
चांगथांग, तो हानले के नजदीक है बोल सकते हो, ठीक है? तो चांगथांग में है,
आईपीडीसी फरीदाबाद में है।
सो उसी तरह से स्काई रिजर्व्स, ऑल द स्काई रिजर्व ग्लोबल ऐसा कोई प्रोजेक्ट नहीं है, लेकिन मल्टीपल स्काई रिजर्व्स है। तो हमने, हमारा भी एक है स्काई रिजर्व, डार्क स्काई रिजर्व जिसको बोलते हैं, वो हानले में है।
So guys, jumping at the question, which of the following statements with regard to Genome India project is or are correct? It was a part of the Human Genome Project. So guys, it was clearly discussed in the class that it was not part of the Human Genome Project. Rather, India takes on such initiatives that are already going on at the global level, and India matches that at the national level. So if you eliminate statement 1, only option B remains, that is 2 and 3, and that is the correct answer. So students were able to mark the correct answer quite easily. Moving ahead. So guys, UPSC asked this question in Prelims 2026 on green hydrogen. Similarly, in 2023, it has asked this question again on green hydrogen. So the repetitive micro theme here was green hydrogen. So both horizontal and vertical anchoring was done of this particular keyword. Let's see how exactly was it predicted before the prelims exam in this PYQ active recall session. So guys, by clicking here, we can see the timestamp. This session was uploaded to YouTube on May 13, 2026. That is well before the prelims exam. Again, I'm increasing the speed to 1.5x.
गाइस ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन पर लगातार यूपीएससी क्वेश्चन पूछी जा रही है। इन सबसे बेहतर हमने ग्रे देखा, हमने ब्लू देखा, ग्रीन इनसे बेहतर मानी जाती है। क्यों?
रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी,
इसे कैसे रिन्यूएबल है?
सर सोलर, विंड, हाइड्रो पावर, इन सब से आ रहे हैं।
और सर बाय प्रोडक्ट भी उसका
और इलेक्ट्रोलाइसिस का प्रोसेस यूज होता है, तो उसमें वाटर को H+ और H- में वैसा कर देते हैं, तोड़ देते हैं।
H+ और H- में तोड़ देते हैं।
वो H-, वो H-।
बेसिकली हाइड्रोजन और ऑक्सीजन में स्प्लिट कर देते हैं, आप ये बोल रहे हो?
यस सर, यस।
ठीक है गाइस, कैसे स्प्लिट होते हैं हाइड्रोजन और ऑक्सीजन?
सर इलेक्ट्रोलाइसिस का प्रोसेस होता है, कैटलिस्ट की प्रेजेंस में वो फेल हो जाते हैं स्प्लिट।
बॉन्ड ब्रेक हो जाता है गाइस।
यस सर।
बॉन्ड ब्रेक होने की वजह से हाइड्रोजन और ऑक्सीजन जो आपस में इतने मजबूती से जुड़े होते हैं, वो जो है बिरहा में चले जाते हैं। राहुल, हाइड्रोजन है, ऑक्सीजन अलग हो जाता है। ठीक है
Guys, coming back to the question, which of the following statements with regard to green hydrogen is or are correct? It is a decarbonized hydrogen obtained from natural gas. Guys, this is incorrect based on the discussion that was going on in the class. Statement 2, it is produced using electrolysis of water with electricity generated by renewable energy. Again, this is correct based on the discussion in the class. Guys, here if you eliminate statement 1, you are left only with option B and option C. 2 is common in both. Now you have to choose whether statement 3 is correct or incorrect. National Green Hydrogen Mission of India aims for abatement of nearly 50 MMT of annual greenhouse gas emissions by 2030. Now, our students were able to mark statement 3 correct based on a method that they had learned in the Logic Builder cohort of the program. So, many of our students were able to mark option B, that is 2 and 3 only, as the correct answer. Moving ahead, then guys, UPSC asked this question in Prelims 2026 on the Sutlej River. Similarly, in Prelims 2021, UPSC had asked this particular question on Sutlej. Now here, the micro theme, the repetitive micro theme was attributes of the Sutlej River. Now guys, let's understand how this particular micro theme was discussed in this PYQ active recall session. So guys, by clicking here, we can see the timestamp. This session was uploaded to YouTube on 25th of April 2026. Again, I am increasing the speed to 1.5x.
Very good. Guys, tell me 3 rivers that originate near Mansarovar Lake. गंगा किसने कहा? आपने देखा गंगोत्री ग्लेशियर, ऐसे क्यों कर रहे हो? ओजस, तो बताओ ओजस कौन सी 3 नदियां हैं?
सर सतलुज है, ब्रह्मपुत्र है और तीसरा
वेरी क्विकली गाइस, सतलज एंटर्स इंडिया फ्रॉम विच पास? पास
हिमाचल प्रदेश।
Sripila, Sutlej.
शिपकिला, एज पर सतलज, एज पर शिपकिला, याद रखा था।
Yes.
यस सर, यस सर।
ठीक है। एंड मानसरोवर यात्रा कहां से जाती है, किस पास से जाती है?
Kailas.
गाइस, एल फॉर लिंगास, एल फॉर
Lipule.
लिपुलेक।
Nepal. Nepal, India. Yes.
यस सर।
ठीक है, फाइन गाइस, कमिंग बैक। ब्रह्मपुत्र कौन से स्टेट से फ्लो होती है इंडिया में?
Arunachal Pradesh.
असम।
अरुणाचल प्रदेश, असम, 2 ही है। यस, ठीक है। तो गाइस, तीस्ता इज अ ट्रिब्यूटरी ऑफ गंगा,
Brahmaputra.
इंपॉर्टेंट रिवर गाइस, तीस्ता। अभी आपने बताया इंडस कहां ओरिजिनेट होती है? गाइस, इंडस के ट्रिब्यूटरीज कौन से हैं?
पंचनाद, सतलुज, ब्यास, चिनाब, झेलम, रावी। पंजाब का नाम
लैंड ऑफ 5 रिवर्स। फाइन गाइस, इसमें से इंडिया जो है प्राइमरीली कौन से रिवर्स का पानी यूज करता है?
RBS, Ravi, Beas and Sutlej.
फाइन गाइस, यहाँ पर जो क्वेश्चन आने की संभावना है, ठीक है, समहाउ वो इसमें नहीं इंक्लूड हो पाया है, इसलिए मैं आपको यहाँ पर वो टास्क दे रहा हूँ। आपको यहाँ पे एक डायग्राम बनाना है, नॉर्थ साउथ ओरिएंटेशन। आई थिंक टेस्ट में ये क्वेश्चन हमने पूछा है,
Yes.
टेस्ट में क्वेश्चन पूछा है, नॉर्थ टू साउथ ओरिएंटेशन ऑफ इंडस ट्रिब्यूटरीज। बताओ गाइस, क्या है ओरिएंटेशन नॉर्थ टू साउथ?
Sir, Jhelum, Chenab,
रावी, ब्यास, सतलज।
झेलम, चनाब, रावी, ब्यास, सतलज। ठीक है, सो आरबीएस आपने याद रखा, तो नीचे के हैं 3 रिवर्स,
तो पंजाब कैसा हो?
राइट, एंड झेलम, चनाब। तो शुरुआत होगी जे से।
So guys, coming back to the question, identify the river of the Indian subcontinent on the basis of the following information. Number 1, it has an antecedent drainage system. Number 2, it flows through 3 countries. Number 3, it originates in the Tibet Plateau and is an important river for irrigation. Now guys, all these attributes are applicable to Brahmaputra Indus, and Sutlej. Tista automatically moves out because in the session itself, we have discussed that it originates in India and then it moves ahead. It does not flow through 3 countries. So the fourth item, it does not form distributaries, is only applicable to Sutlej as being discussed in the class. The question that was asked in the class was, which of the following are the tributaries of Indus? And Sutlej was one of those. That Brahmaputra is the main river, the mainstream, and it is bound to have distributaries. Again, Indus, it is the mainstream, main river. Again, it is bound to have distributaries. But Sutlej itself is a tributary of Indus. So it cannot have distributaries. So when you have distributaries, a delta is formed. So Indus, Brahmaputra are associated with distributaries, but not Sutlej. So based on the repetitive micro theme and based on the intensive discussion in the class, our students were able to mark Sutlej as the correct answer. Moving ahead, guys, UPSC had asked this question in prelims 2026 on the Eka movement and Bardoli Satyagraha. Similarly, UPSC had asked this question in 2025. The answer to this was Dandi, again related to the civil disobedience movement. So UPSC has been repetitively asking questions on important and prominent movements and more so on peasant and tribal movements. So guys, based on this repetitive micro theme, this particular question was predicted in this PYQ active recall session. Let's have a look. Again, guys, by clicking here, we can see the timestamp. This session was uploaded to YouTube on 16th of April 2026. Again, well before the prelims exam. Again, I'm increasing the speed to 1.5x.
Other movements, again, not that prominent, but relevant. Eka movement, UP. It was against what? Anti-rent movement था ये. एका कैसे याद रखेंगे गाइस? एका मूवमेंट यूपी.
एटा जिला है सर यहाँ पे, तो मैंने वैसे याद किया.
कौन सा जिला?
एटा करके सर एक जिला है.
एटा इटा बोल रहे हो? अच्छा. एक था रेंट. वाह, ठीक है. गाइस, ये प्रोमिनेंट कुछ जो मूवमेंट्स है, चंपारण, खेड़ा, बारदोली, इनमें डिफरेंशिएशन अगर करना है तो हालांकि हमको ये प्रोमिनेंटली पता होता है. सो एक कीवर्ड में अगर याद रखना है तो चंपारण वाज एसोसिएटेड विद इंडिगो कल्टीवेशन. खेड़ा, जिसको अगेन गांधी जी ने लीड किया था, इट वाज एसोसिएटेड विद व्हाट? खेड़ा वाज एसोसिएटेड विद व्हाट?
लैंड. सर वो
गाइस, इतना टाइम नहीं लगना है. राइट. बारदोली revenue resistance basically. So it was an early experiment towards CDM, civil disobedience movement. Bardoli Satyagraha can be seen as an early experiment towards CDM. ठीक है, revenue resistance.
So guys, coming back to the question here, option C is correct. The Bardoli Satyagraha was a campaign against enforcement of land revenue, while the Eka movement was a protest against excessive extraction of rents. This is what was exactly discussed and predicted in that particular session. Moving ahead, guys, UPSC asked this question in prelims 2026, where it gave an incorrect statement with respect to the 5th schedule. Similarly, it has asked a question on 5th schedule in 2025. So UPSC has been asking question on this repetitive micro theme of 5th schedule. Let's understand how importance of 5th schedule was underlined in this particular PYQ active recall session. Guys, by clicking here, we can see the timestamp. This particular session was uploaded to YouTube on 27th of April 2026. That is well before the prelims exam. Again, I am increasing the speed to 1.5x.
Defection.
5th and 6th schedules.
ट्राइबल एडवाइजरी काउंसिल एंड ऑटोनोमस डिस्ट्रिक्ट.
Autonomous districts. अच्छा गाइस, टोटल कितने autonomous districts हैं?
असम, मेघालय, मिजोरम, त्रिपुरा.
स्टेट्स की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ, autonomous districts.
टोटल याद नहीं.
10 है गाइस. स्टेट कौन से हैं?
AMT माइनस मणिपुर, असम, मेघालय, मिजोरम और त्रिपुरा.
मणिपुर नहीं है माइनस. दिया हुआ है गाइस, ये वाला चैप्टर खोलो लक्ष्मीकांत में, ये दिया हुआ है उसमें. दिस इज नॉट समथिंग न्यू. ऐसे याद रखना, त्रिपुरा सबसे छोटा है तो त्रिपुरा में एक ही है ऑटोनोमस डिस्ट्रिक्ट. ठीक है. कौन से स्टेट बचे त्रिपुरा के अलावा?
असम, मेघालय, मिजोरम.
मेघालय में गाइस गारो, खासी, जैंतिया हिल्स है. तो गारो, खासी, जैंतिया ऑटोनोमस आपको मिल जाएंगे. 3. ठीक है. त्रिपुरा हो गया, मेघालय हो गया. कौन से बचे?
असम,
असम,
मिजोरम, कार्बी एंगलोंग.
सर, और मिजो का बता दो. आसाम के बताओ पहले सारे.
Dima Hasa.
सर बोडोलैंड, कार्बी एनालॉग, दीमा असम।
ओके, मिजोरम में और कौन सा है? चकमा है? चकमा मारा। आप किसी को चकमा मारते हो? ठीक है सर, तो उसको ऐसे याद रखना है कि साहिल को उस कवि ने चकमा मारा था, राइट? और चकमा मार के अपने अड्डे पर लेकर गया था कौवा, लाई। चकमा मार के लाई
मेन था सर। हाँ वही लाई है।
मैंने कौवे का जेंडर बोला ही नहीं।
आपने बोला लाई।
तुम क्या वो वाली कहावत बोल रहे हो कि उड़ते परिंदे का जेंडर हम पहचान जाते हैं? ठीक है, क्या हो गया अफशान?
पहली बार सुना है।
पहली बार सुना है, ठीक है। गाइस अब यहाँ पर आप लोग एक से आगे गए हो, ना सिर्फ स्टेट्स आपको याद है बल्कि वहां के डिस्ट्रिक्ट याद है, जिसकी वजह से आप स्टेट्स नहीं भूलोगे। राहुल एक बार एनिमेट कर दो सारे 10 डिस्ट्रिक्ट स्टेट वाइज।
सर असम में से बोडोलैंड, एंगलोंग, दीमा,
करबी एंगलोंग,
कार्बी एंगलोंग। एंड सर मेघालय में जंटा, गारो, खासी।
या मेघालय में कहां से आगे? अच्छा मेघालय,
सॉरी मेघालय
मेघालय बोलो।
एंड
तीन मेघालय में
जंटा, गारो।
यहाँ पर ओरिएंटेशन पर सवाल आ सकता है।
गारो, खासी, जैंतिया।
गारो, खासी, जैंतिया, ये कौन सा ओरिएंटेशन है?
वेस्ट टू ईस्ट।
वेस्ट टू ईस्ट, गारो, खासी, जैंतिया, ठीक है। फिर उसके बाद मिजोरम,
मिजोरम को बोलिए सर। हाँ चकमा, मारा,
चकमा,
चकमा
लाई,
और एक त्रिपुरा।
राइट। सो साहिल को कौवे ने चकमा मार के अपने अड्डे पर लाई, ठीक है। और त्रिपुरा में एक ही है, ठीक है। गाइस वेरी क्विकली व्हाट कम्स टू माइंड व्हेन आई से?
So guys, coming back to the question, statement 1, provisions targeting the administration of tribal areas in the states of Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram are given in the 5th schedule. Now guys, this is patently incorrect. So you can't mark D, that is all 3 statements are incorrect. Also you can't mark option B, which says there are 2 correct statements, that are statement 1 and 3. So you are left with option A and option C. Option C says there is only 1 correct statement, and option A says there are 2 correct statements that include statement 2. Now guys, statement 3, it says the Constitution of India provides for the reservation of seats in panchayats for women belonging to the scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. Now this is commonly known guys. Statement 3 is correct. Statement 2, some tribes of India are entitled to exemption from paying income tax on certain incomes. Again guys, there is something called as feasibility test that is taught to our students as part of the logic builder cohort. So using that, our students were able to take risk in favor of statement 2, and ultimately they were able to mark the correct answer, that is option A, which says there are 2 correct statements that include statement 2. Moving ahead, then guys, UPSC asked this question in prelims 2026 on Lake Turkana. Similarly, in prelims 2022, UPSC had asked this question on lakes of West Africa. All these lakes were African lakes. So the repetitive micro theme here was UPSC was interested in African lakes. So based on this insight, let's understand how this particular question was predicted in these following 2 sessions. So guys, by clicking here, we can look at the timestamp. This particular session was uploaded to YouTube on 26th of February 2026. This particular session is publicly available to all. That's why you can see the number of views and likes here is high. Again guys, I'm increasing the speed here to 1.5x.
There were a few more statements in the question, few more items. Amazon River हमने देखा, Lake Victoria देखा, Mount Kenya देखा. There are Lake Tanganyika, Congo River में हमने देखा, Lake Turkana and Mount Kilimanjaro. ये वाला जो है, guys, can you help me find the 3 water bodies which are present in the question, जहां से इक्वेटर पास नहीं होता है? So Lake Turkana केन्या में है and it is also including into Ethiopia. ठीक है, what else?
So Lake Tanganyika, it is on the border of Tanzania.
Lake Tanganyika, ये PYQ में आ चुका है. Guys, please mute your mics, जो बात नहीं कर रहा है. So this is Lake Tanganyika which has been asked in PYQ. ठीक है. Lake Malawi दिख रहा है किसी को?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है, it is further southwards.
Similarly guys, let's look at this PYQ active recall session. Again guys, by clicking here, we can see the timestamp. This particular session was uploaded to YouTube on 11th of May 2026. Again, I'm increasing the speed to 1.5x.
Guys, there is another lake, not as big as these lakes. Lake Turkana.
Yes, sir.
कहाँ पर है ये?
Ethiopia and Kenya.
Guys, will I be correct if I say कि the Great Lakes of Africa are concentrated on the western part of the continent?
No, sir, eastern part.
No.
Eastern part में है?
Yes.
Yes sir.
Guys, ये जो lake systems है, ये कैसे है? Are this brackish? Are this fresh?
Fresh water.
साहिल, कैसे होते हैं?
No idea, sir.
Guys, ये खास बात है, desert है पूरा अफ्रीका, लेकिन these lakes are all fresh water. These are freshwater lifelines of Africa. Now tell me what comes to your mind. बिना time ये बताना है और कम से कम शब्दों में बताना है.
So guys, jumping back to the question, which of the following statements with respect to Lake Turkana is or are correct? Guys, here statement 2 says the lake is situated in South Sudan. Now this is patently incorrect. Now in the class, we have seen that it was repeatedly emphasized that Lake Turkana is present in Kenya prominently, and also a small part of it is in Ethiopia. So guys, if we eliminate statement 2, then option C and D gets eliminated. You are left with option A and B. One is common in both option A and B. Statement 3, the lake is listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site and is also referred to as the Jade Sea. Now guys, there is something known as the feasibility test, using which our students were able to include statement 3 as well, and they were able to mark option B as the correct answer. Moving ahead. Now guys, UPSC had asked this question in 2026 prelims on rivers and their ancient names. Similarly, in prelims 2025, UPSC has asked a similar question on river flowing in the region and the territorial region associated with it. Now here, as you can see, Godavari, Mahanadi, Sarayu are all modern names. The only ancient name that was used was Vipas, which is a name for Bias, the ancient name for river Bias. So keeping with this insight, the micro theme here was ancient names of tributaries of the Indus River. So guys, based on this insight, horizontal PYQ anchoring was done, and in several sessions, this particular question was predicted. Let's have a look at those one by one. So guys, again, by clicking here, we can look at the timestamp. This session was uploaded to YouTube on 16th of December 2025. That is well before the prelims exam. Now guys, I will slow down the speed of this session because this was a post-test discussion of a basic ancient and medieval history test. And this particular question on the ancient names of the rivers, ancient names of tributaries of Indus rivers, was not discussed specifically because that was clear to the students. But in slower speed, while it is being scrolled on the screen, it will be visible to you. So guys, it was a match the following kind of a question where you had Vitasa, BS, Parushni, Ravi, Aksini, Chenab and Vipasa, Jhelam, and the correct answer had to be selected. Similarly guys, let's look at this particular session. Again guys, by clicking here, we can look at the timestamp. This session was uploaded on 6th of Feb 2026, again well before the prelims exam. Guys, this was again a post-test discussion of a revision test. Here also, I will reduce the speed because this particular question was again not discussed because it was clear to the students, but it will be visible to you at lower speed while it is being scrolled. Question number 15. So this was a question, guys, where Vedic names and modern names of the tributaries of the Indus rivers were to be matched. As you can see here, Vitasta, Jhelam, Parushni, Ravi, Aksini, Chenab, Vipasa, Jhelam, Shutudri, Sutlej. And the correct answer had to be selected. Again, similarly, guys, let's look at this active recall session where again this particular question was predicted. So again, guys, by clicking here, we can look at the timestamp. This particular session was uploaded on May 24, 2026. Now, May 24 was the examination day, but this session was conducted one day before the examination. But अपलोड करते करते रात के 12 ऑलरेडी बज चुके थे, इसलिए टाइम यहाँ पर 24th में बता रहा है. अगेन गाइज, आई विल इंक्रीज द स्पीड टू 1.5x.
सो पुहार गाइज, पुहार पर सवाल आया हुआ है. यस सर. और पुहार कावेरीपट्टनम से सेम नाम है. गाइज ऑफ द ट्रैक, पारुष्णी किस रिवर का नाम है?
रवि. रवि.
रवि. रवि.
Vedic name.
Okay.
Jumping back to the question was, which of the following pairs of ancient and modern names of rivers is or are correctly matched? Vitasa, Chenab, Aksini, Jhelam, Parushni, Ravi, Yavyavati, BS. Now guys, this question was almost verbatim predicted. This was predicted in an almost verbatim manner. And it was a cakewalk for our students. Then guys, UPSC had asked this question in Prelims 2026 with respect to Strait of Hormuz. Similarly, in 2024, UPSC had asked this question on Sumed pipeline. So here the repetitive micro theme was global choke points and their respective bypasses. So guys, based on this insight, This particular question was predicted in this particular session. Again, guys, by clicking here, we can look at the timestamp. This session was uploaded on 5th of March 2026. Again, well before the prelims exam. Again, I'm increasing the speed to 1.5x.
सर इसमें आंसर की में अल्फा है, मैंने बीटा मार्क किया था सर इसका आंसर.
अच्छा, काफी इंटरेस्टिंग क्वेश्चन है एंड वेरी मच रिलेटेड टू द ऑनगोइंग जियोपॉलिटिकल क्राइसिस इन वेस्ट एशिया. घुमाकर यूपीएससी पूछती है जैसे सुमित पाइपलाइन के ऊपर पूछा था. हाँ, तो वो तो मुश्किल बन सकता है. ओजस क्वेश्चन पढ़ लो आप. क्वेश्चन 26.
Statement 1. The Strait of Hormuz functions as a critical maritime choke point in West Asian geopolitics. Statement 2. The Strait of Hormuz constitutes the only maritime outlet of the Persian Gulf into the open ocean through the Gulf of Oman. Statement 3. Several littoral states of Persian Gulf possess some of the world's largest proven hydrocarbon reserves.
तो ये चीज पता होना एक्सपेक्टेड है गाइस. इसमें एज सच सुपरलेटिव कुछ भी नहीं है. सेवरल लिटरल स्टेट्स ऑफ पर्शियन गल्फ. लिटरल स्टेट्स कौन कौन से हो गए? ये छोटी छोटी स्टेट जो है गल्फ में. कतर, Bahrain.
So guys, jumping back to the question, ships from which of the following countries have to cross the Strait of Hormuz to reach out to the Indian Ocean? And the correct answer here is exactly what was being emphasized in the class. It was Qatar and Bahrain. That means option B, 1 and 3 is the only correct answer possible. And it was a cakewalk for our students. Moving ahead. So guys, UPSC asked this question on the Madhav National Park, where it also mentioned the Sakhi Sagar. Similarly, it has asked in Prelims 2022 question on this particular wetlands and Ramsar sites. So guys, UPSC has been asking questions on Ramsar sites repetitively. And based on this insight, this particular question was almost verbatim predicted in this particular session. Again, guys, by clicking here, we can look at the timestamp. This session was uploaded on 15th of April 2026. Again, I'm increasing the speed to 1.5x.
Yes, sir. Sir, 92 के अंदर मेरा डाउट था सर.
ओके
जी बेश सर, इसके अंदर सर जो आंसर की में दे रखा है 3 एंड 4 मतलब डेल्टा करेक्ट है आंसर की में. तो मुझे लग रहा है सर 1 भी जो रो है वो भी करेक्ट है.
1 भी करेक्ट है सर.
ठीक है. 1, 3, 4.
Yes sir.
Yes sir.
So guys, as you can see here in this particular row, it's mentioned Sakhi Sagar, that is a wetland, state Madhya Pradesh, relevance located in Madhav National Park and vital for Gharials. Sakhi Sagar, state Madhya Pradesh, located in Madhav National Park. Now coming to the actual question asked by UPSC, with reference to Madhav National Park, which of the following statements is or are correct? It was declared a tiger reserve in India in 2025. Yes, this was precisely asked in the particular test for this reason. Statement 2, Sakhi Sagar, which is designated as a Ramsar site, is situated within this national park. Again, this is verbatim from the test. Statement 3, its area is shared between Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. Again, guys, as seen in the particular test, Rajasthan is not mentioned. It is located only in Madhya Pradesh. So statement 3 is patently wrong. If you eliminate statement 3, you are left with option A and B. One is common in both. Statement 2 is definitely correct as being discussed in the class. And this particular question was a cakewalk for our students. Moving ahead, guys, UPSC asked this question in Prelims 2026 on large language models or LLMs. Similarly, in 2025, UPSC had asked this particular question on machine learning, deep learning. So here AI, ML, artificial intelligence, machine learning, LLMs, these were very much hot on UPSC's mind. And based on this particular insight, this question was predicted in this particular session. Again, guys, by clicking here, we can look at the timestamp. This was uploaded on April 6th, 2026. Again, well before the prelims exam. Here again, I'm increasing the speed to 1.5x.
ठीक है, इसमें क्या डाउट है?
एक्सप्लेनेशन सर.
आपने मार्क क्या किया था?
सर मैंने तो बीटा मार्क किया. गलत कौन सा है इसमें?
कॉन्टेक्स्ट कन्वर्जिंग था. गाइस, स्टेटमेंट 2 इज वेरी इनकोहेरेंट.
यस सर. फाइंड डेटा सेट्स ना सर.
जिन बच्चों ने स्टेटमेंट 2 को एलिमिनेट किया है, गाइस, इज इट बिकॉज़ इट सेज दैट AI ड्रिवन LLM, लार्ज लैंग्वेज मॉडल्स, आर ट्रेन्ड ऑन टाइनी डेटा सेट्स. लार्ज लैंग्वेज मॉडल है और टाइनी डेटा सेट पे ट्रेन हो रहे हैं.
गॉट इट सर.
Now guys, jumping to the actual question, which are the following statements with regard to large language models or LLMs used in machine learning is or are correct? Now guys, based on the particular discussion in the session and based on the model answers that the students were given as part of the explanation for the given test, this particular question was a cakewalk for our students. Moving ahead, guys, in Prelims 2026, UPSC asked this question on drone swarms. Similarly, in Prelims 2025, UPSC asked this particular question on UAVs. So guys, here the repetitive micro theme was UAVs, unmanned aerial vehicles. So based on both vertical and horizontal PYQ anchoring, this particular question was predicted. Let's have a look at this particular session. Again, guys, by clicking here, we can look at the timestamp. This was uploaded on 30th of November 2025. Again, well before the prelims exam. Now, guys, it was a post-test discussion of a science and technology half-length test. Here, I'm reducing the speed because this particular question was not discussed because the students were clear in this question. But because of reducing the speed, you will be able to see that particular question being scrolled.
So let's just read it. Anu.
So guys, this was the question with reference to drone swarm technology. Consider the following statements. Swarm drones operate under a centralized control system only. Swarm drones can communicate with each other in real time using mesh networks. Swarm drones can perform coordinated military missions such as surveillance and attack. Similarly, guys, let's look at this particular session, which was a post-test discussion of a full-length test. Again, guys, by clicking here, we can look at the timestamp. This was uploaded on 15th of April 2026. Again, much before the prelims exam. And again, I'm increasing the speed to 1.5x.
रो 1 सही है सर, थर्ड रो सॉरी, थर्ड रो भी मुझे सही लग रही है सर, ये टेराहर्ट्ज इमेजिंग।
हाँ सर, मैंने भी वही मार्क किया था।
तो मुझे लगा था इसकी ऑप्शन फ्रेमिंग है ना, वैसे होनी चाहिए थी, ओनली 1 ओनली 2 ओनली 3।
मुझे भी थर्ड तो सही लगा।
तो मैंने 1 and 3 किया था।
सर ये सेकंड ऑप्शन डीएनए ओरिगामी ये फिशिंग को कैसे वो करता है प्रिवेंट?
वो तो गलत,
नैनो टेक्नोलॉजी का पार्ट है और साइबर सिक्योरिटी अलग है।
गाइस, यहाँ पे कैच ये है कि आपसे पूछा क्या गया है, प्राइमरी बेनिफिट।
यस सर।
तो मेडिकल पर्पसेस के लिए यूज होता है, बट नॉट प्राइमरीली इन द केस ऑफ प्रोटोजोन डिसीजेस।
इसका क्या होना चाहिए?
तो यहाँ पे स्क्रीनिंग में डेफिनेटली यूज होता है, बीट सिक्योरिटी स्क्रीनिंग, नॉन डिस्ट्रक्टिव टेस्टिंग एंड मेडिकल इमेजिंग।
Now, guys, jumping back to the question, which of the following statements with regards to drone swarms is or are correct? First, statement 2. Individual drones in the swarm can communicate with other drones in the swarm. Yes, this is definitely correct based on the discussion in the session. Statement 1. They use terahertz band of frequency to communicate with the command center. Now, in the other session, we saw that terahertz is used for imaging purposes, medical imaging and other relevant purposes. So it operates at a short distance level. It cannot be used to communicate with the command center. This was quite clear. This was crystal clear to the students. A decision has to be made with respect to statement 3. GPS spoofing is a commonly used technique to counter drone swarm attack. Now, guys, there is a method known as wordplay, which is taught in the logic builder cohort as part of the program, using which our students were able to include statement 3. Moving ahead, guys, UPSC asked this question in prelims 2026 on RWA, that is real world assets tokenization. Similarly, in prelims 2022, UPSC had asked a question on non-fungible tokens. So UPSC has been interested in tokenization and digital representation of physical assets. Now, based on this particular question was predicted in this particular session. Again, guys, by clicking here, we can look at the timestamp. This session was uploaded to YouTube on 30th of November 2025. Again, well before the prelims exam. Again, guys, this was the same science and tech half-length test. Here, I would keep it on mute because this particular question was not discussed because students were clear over it, but muting will help us to understand that it was an ongoing session, but another question was being discussed. So guys, this was the question. Which of the following terms best refer to a digital representation of real world assets? Again, guys, digital representation of real world assets such as real estate, art or commodities on a blockchain. Again, on a blockchain, enabling fractional ownership and seamless transfer. Again, the correct answer here was asset tokenization. Now, jumping back to the question, which of the following statements about real world assets, RWA tokenization, are correct? Statement 1. Tokenization is the process of turning real world assets into digital tokens using blockchain technology. Yes, this is derived directly from the test that was being discussed. Statement 2. Tokenization of real world assets offers 24/7 access, promoting financial inclusion. Again, this is directly derived from the model answers that were given to the students as part of the test. Statement 3. Tokenization of real world assets will allow the access to high growth investment opportunities for individuals in India. Again, this statement is also correct and directly derivable from the question that was asked in that particular test and the model answer that was given along with it. And the students were able to mark the correct answer. Moving ahead, then guys, UPSC had asked this question in Prelims 2026 on blockchain technology. Now, this was quite a nuanced question, quite a detailed question on blockchain technology. Similarly, in Prelims 2022, UPSC had asked this question and several other questions in past few years with respect to blockchain technology and their applications. Guys, based on vertical PYQ anchoring, this particular question was predicted in this particular session. And guys, we have already discussed that vertical anchoring implies going deep into the subject matter, going deep into the keywords that have already been asked. So if a question was asked on blockchain technology, it is our duty to go into detailed and nuances of blockchain technology and their different applications. So let's have a look at the first session here. Guys, again, by clicking here, you can see the timestamp. This session was uploaded on 16th of May 2026. Again, well before the prelims examination. Again, I'm increasing the speed to 1.5x.
Question number 66 का बीटा होना चाहिए.
Yes, sir.
आंसर की में अल्फा दिया है.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
अच्छा, क्वेश्चन पढ़ लेना अर्चिशा.
Statement 1, blockchain technology ensures data security. Statement 2, blockchain technology enables peer-to-peer transactions. Statement 3, blockchain technology creates immutable records of transactions.
पीयर टू पीयर ट्रांजैक्शन से क्या होता है?
उसको वेरीफाई कर सकता है, आई थिंक अर्चिशा. मतलब उसको इतना मैनिपुलेट करना इजी नहीं होगा. ये तो PYQ नहीं आया था, आई थिंक. सॉरी, आई डिडंट अंडरस्टैंड. मैं इंटरमीडिएट से दिखाऊंगा. इसलिए सर ये थोड़ा डाटा को सिक्योर रखें. Even ledger entries where like each entry could be verified by the other person. So when there's a peer-to-peer review mechanism, so it leaves little scope for manipulation. So which kind of gives data security. Okay.
So you have greater degree of audit here. Peer-to-peer है. Right? You are not dependent on some central platform provider. Immutable records है, definitely. 3 तो explain कर रहा है. Peer-to-peer transaction से क्या होता है? Greater audit होता है.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. Single point source नहीं है डेटा का. मान लो कोई हैकर हैक करना चाहता है डेटा, कुछ डेटा ओजस के पास है, कुछ अर्चिशा के पास है, कुछ स्वाति के पास है, साहिल कैसे हैक कर लेगा?
Now guys, jumping back to the question, which of the following statements regarding the features of blockchain technology are correct? First, statement 4, mathematical algorithms make it impossible to change or delete any data once recorded and accepted. Guys, this is directly drawn from the session. It was being discussed that records become immutable. So precisely because they are immutable, they cannot be changed. This was clear both from the discussion in the class and from the model answer that was given to the students. Again, if 4 has to be there, option A gets eliminated because it doesn't have 4. Then guys, jumping to statement 1, records stored in the database may be made visible to relevant stakeholders without risk of alteration. Again, this directly draws from the session. Statement 2, copies of the entire database are stored on multiple computers on a network, syncing within seconds. Again, this draws directly from the particular session. So guys, 1, 2 and 4 is present only in option C, and there is no option that gives you an option to mark all the statements as correct. So option C is correct. Again, looking at statement 3 once, consortium blockchain is a blend of public and private blockchains allowing selective data access. Guys, this is a made up statement, and also given the option framing here, option C, 1, 2 and 4 can be easily marked. And this question was a cakewalk for our students. Moving ahead, guys, in Prelims 2026, UPSC asked this question on crowding out effect. Similarly, in Prelims 2025 and in several other years, UPSC has asked direct questions on crowding out effect and other questions with respect to assets and liabilities of the government, investments of the government, so on and so forth. So based on these insights, this particular question was predicted in this session, which was a post-test discussion. Again, guys, by clicking here, we can look at the timestamp. This was uploaded on 16th of May 2026, again, well before the prelims exam. Again, I'm increasing the speed to 1.5x.
56 में क्या है?
सर ये पहले भी हमने बहुत डिस्कस किया है सर. इसमें सर हमने देखा था कि क्राउडिंग आउट में जब गवर्नमेंट स्पेंड करती है सर, तो प्राइवेट इन्वेस्टमेंट बढ़ता है, क्राउडिंग इन होता है ना.
क्राउडिंग आउट इफेक्ट, क्राउड आउट क्या होता है?
गवर्नमेंट स्पेंड करती है, फिर इंटरेस्ट रेट्स बढ़ जाते हैं ना, और फिर उससे प्राइवेट सेक्टर के लिए फीजिबल नहीं होता.
इसको और जरा सिंपलीफाई करते हैं. मान लो मैं गवर्नमेंट हूँ, ठीक है, और स्वाति इज अ बैंकर, ठीक है, स्वाति के पास से मैं पैसा उठा रहा हूँ, राइट. स्वाति के पास का पूरा पैसा मैंने उठा लिया, स्वाति के पास अब बहुत कम पैसा बचा है और मैं इन्वेस्ट कर रहा हूँ. प्राइवेट सेक्टर वाले 2 लोग आ रहे हैं वहां पे, अर्चिशा और ओजस. स्वाति से पैसा मांगने, स्वाति बोल रही है मैं तुमको पैसा वैसा कुछ दूंगी नहीं, चाहिए तो ये रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट है, इस पर लो, नहीं तो चलते बनो। मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, मैं भी इन्वेस्ट ही कर रहा हूँ, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में कर सकता हूँ, या फिर मैं कंजम्पशन नीड पर इन्वेस्ट कर सकता हूँ, गवर्नमेंट स्कीम्स को चलाने के लिए कर सकता हूँ, किसी भी चीज के लिए कर सकता हूँ। वैसे बेसिकली इन्वेस्ट मैं ही कर रहा हूँ, बीइंग द गवर्नमेंट। ठीक है, क्राउडिंग आउट हो गया, मतलब स्वाति ने क्या बोला, बोथ ऑफ यू गो आउट,
गेट लॉस्ट।
ठीक है, इसलिए आप दोनों क्राउड आउट हो गए। ऑन द कॉन्ट्ररी, मैं इन्वेस्ट कर रहा हूं, जिसकी वजह से अर्चिशा और ओजस के पास ढेर सारे कस्टमर ऑर्डर्स आ रहे हैं, ठीक है, और ढेर सारे अपॉर्चुनिटीज ओपन हो रही है कि बस हम जाए और इन्वेस्ट करें। और वो जाते हैं स्वाति के पास, स्वाति बोलती है वेलकम माय डियर फ्रेंड्स, बताओ आपको कितना पैसा चाहिए, और वो बहुत बहुत ही कम रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट में 59 सेकंड्स में जो है आपका लोन पास हो जाएगा। क्या डिफरेंस है दोनों में ओजस?
पहले केस में सर इंटरेस्ट रेट हाई हो गया है, सेकंड केस में इंटरेस्ट डाउन हो गया है,
क्योंकि मैंने स्वाति के पास से लिक्विडिटी जो है सक नहीं कर ली सेकंड केस में। सेकंड केस में मैं इन्वेस्ट कर रहा हूं बट विदाउट गोइंग टू स्वाति। आपके पास पैसा उठाने के लिए स्कोप है, स्वाति आपको कम इन बोल रही है सेकंड केस में, पहले केस में बोल रही थी गो आउट, उस वजह से क्राउड आउट हो गए थे आप। अब आप क्राउड इन हो रहे हो, मैं जो भी इन्वेस्टमेंट कर रहा हूं उससे आपके अपॉर्चुनिटीज बढ़ रहे हैं, राइट, उस वजह से आप ज्यादा इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हो, ज्यादा पैसा उठा रहे हो स्वाति के पास से, ज्यादा इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हो, ज्यादा खर्च कर रहे हो, उस वजह से स्वाति का फायदा हो रहा है। आप जब भी जाते हो विद अ स्माइल, स्वाति ऑलवेज टेल्स यू वेलकम, कम इन। ओजस अब क्लैरिटी है?
क्लियर सर।
क्राउड आउट ऑफ क्राउडिंग।
Coming back to the question, guys, which one of the following best describes the crowding out effect in the context of fiscal policy? The correct answer is option B, a situation where government borrowing leads to a higher interest rates, which reduces private investment, and the students were able to market easily. Moving ahead, guys, in Prelims 2026, UPSC asked this question on the peninsular block of India and its associated hills, among other things. Similarly, in Prelims 2023, UPSC had asked this question on various hills of the peninsula, be it the Seshachalam Hills, Biligiri Rangan Hills, Amarkantak Hills, and so on and so forth. So here, peninsular hills were hot on UPSC's mind. So based on this, horizontal PYQ anchoring was done, and this particular question was in a large extent predicted in this particular session. Again, guys, by clicking here, we can look at the timestamp. This session was uploaded on 6th of February 2026. Again, well before the prelims exam. Now, guys, it was a post-test discussion session. This particular question was not discussed because students were clear in this question. So I'm reducing the speed of this session so that in slow speed, this question can be seen while it is being scrolled. So guys, this was a question on south to north orientation of hills belonging to the Eastern Ghats. Here, Mahendragiri Hills and Velikonda Hills were definitely mentioned, but apart from those, other important hills of the Eastern Ghats were also mentioned. Jumping back to the question, which of the following geographical features or phenomenon is or are associated with the peninsular block of India? Guys, statement 2 says, presence of residual mountain ranges such as the Velikonda Hills and Mahendragiri Hills. So as you saw in this session, both Velikonda Hills and Mahendragiri Hills were explicitly mentioned. That means you need to include statement 2, and there are only two options that have statement 2, option B and option C. That means you need to decide between statement 1 and statement 3. Statement 1 says submergence of parts of the western coast due to tectonic activity. Yes, this is correct. And statement 3, deep V-shaped river valleys formed by fast-flowing rivers. Guys, any student with a bare minimum level of geography preparation can eliminate statement 3 because this feature belongs not to the peninsula but to the northern side of India. So the correct answer over here is option B, 1 and 2. Now, because we were able to emphasize on Velikonda Hills, Mahendragiri Hills, and other hills of the peninsular region, our students were able to mark option B, that is 1 and 2, as the correct answer quite easily. Moving ahead, guys, in Prelims 2026, UPSC asked this question on unstarred questions, starred questions, and so on. Similarly, in Prelims 2024, UPSC asked question with respect to when does a bill lapse. Similarly, various other questions have been asked, and the keyword, the micro theme that is being repeated here is parliamentary practices. What practices are actually followed inside the parliament? So guys, based on this insight, this particular question was predicted in this particular session, which was a post-test discussion of a basic polity test. Again, guys, by clicking here, we can look at the timestamp. This session was uploaded on 9th of December 2025. again, well before the prelims exam. Now, guys, in this poster discussion, the question on starred and unstarred questions was not discussed because the students were clear over this. So I'll reduce the speed so that you can see the question while it is being scrolled. So guys, this was the question. Consider the following statements. Statement 1, the question hour in parliament is crucial for ensuring executive accountability. Statement 2, members of parliament can ask only starred questions. Can ask only starred questions during question hour. Jumping back to the question. Consider the following statements in respect of questions asked by members in the Parliament of India. Unstarred questions are those to which a member desires an oral answer in the House. Incorrect. Starred questions are those in which a member desires a written answer. Again, incorrect. Statement 3. No supplementary question can be asked on an unstarred question. This is correct. Guys, the correct answer would be option C, that there is only one correct statement, that is statement 3. Guys, given the practice in the test and the explanation given along with it, our students were quite clear with this particular question and could answer it quite easily. Moving ahead, guys, in prelims 2026, UPSC had asked this question on NBFCs, that is non-banking financial companies. Similarly, in 2024 and various other papers, UPSC had asked various questions on NBFCs. So based on both vertical and horizontal PYQ anchoring and PIB anchoring, this particular question was predicted in this particular session and other sessions. Let's have a look. Again, guys, by clicking here, we can look at the timestamp. This was uploaded on 23rd of November 2025, again much before the prelims exam. Now guys, this was a post-test discussion of an economy half-length test. This particular question was not discussed because the students were clear over it. So I'll slow down the speed so that you can see it while it is being scrolled. So guys, here you had to match organization, functions, and regulated by. The organization was Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation, that is DICGC. Functions: provides insurance cover on bank deposits up to a prescribed limit. Regulated by RBI. Jumping back to the question, consider the following statements about the NBFCs in India. Here, statement 4 says, Deposit Insurance Facility of Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation, that is DICGC, is not available to the depositors of deposit-taking NBFCs. Now, this can be directly drawn from the test and the explanation given to the students. So, 4 has to be there. And if you have to include statement 4, option B gets eliminated because it doesn't have statement 4. Guys, statement 1, NBFCs cannot accept demand deposits. Now, guys, this is one of the most important defining features of NBFCs. Statement 1 has to be part of the correct answer. And if you look closely, there is only one option which has 1 and 4 together, that is option A. So here the correct answer would be 1 and 4. Now, because our students were quite clear with respect to the mandate of DICGC, they were able to confidently mark option A as the correct answer. Moving ahead, guys, in prelims 2026, UPSC had asked this question on various organization, functions, and their controlling ministry. Similarly, in 2025, it has asked a similar question on organization, functions, and its controlling departments or ministries. Let's have a look at this first. Again, guys, by clicking here, we can look at the timestamp. This was uploaded on 22nd of May 2026. Again, well before the prelims exam. Again, guys, I'm increasing the speed to 1.5x.
Question 33 was the only 4x4 वाला column pairing. ये किसका सही आया?
सही होगा।
23 मेरा भी सही हुआ सर ये।
सबका सही हुआ है?
ना सर।
कैसे सही होगा ये बताओ ओजस?
हाँ सर, वो तो क्लास में डिस्कस किया था कल के शायद, तो याद रहेगा। सीबीआई का डिपार्टमेंट डीओपीटी में आता है, और सर ईडी का तो पता ही है, डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ फाइनेंस।
और गाइस, सीरियस फ्रॉड इन्वेस्टिगेशन ऑफिस, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कॉर्पोरेट अफेयर्स, एमसीए, सीबीआई, डीओपीटी, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ पर्सनल, एंड ईडी, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ फाइनेंस, डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ
रेवेन्यू
भूलना नहीं है.
Again, looking at the PIB active recall session. Again, guys, by clicking here, we can look at the timestamp. This was uploaded on 20th of May 2026. Again, well before the prelims exam. Again, guys, I'm increasing the speed to 1.5x.
सर सीबीआई का स्टैट्यूट क्या था? दिल्ली
Delhi Police Special Establishment Act.
DPS.
It draws its power from that act. So it is not a statutory body, Artisha.
Yes, sir.
It's executive body.
It is
ATS जैसा ही है ना something.
it is an attached office.
Hmm.
क्या बोल रहे हो Rogers?
सर ये something like ATS जैसा ही है ना executive body. CBI.
Executive body, and this is a special body, guys, क्योंकि policing function central के domain में नहीं आते center के. So this is that act through which it derives powers. और state में अगर काम करना है CBI को, it needs
Permission.
बोलो अनमोल.
सर परमिशन चाहिए होती है कहीं.
जनरल कंसर्न स्पेसिफिक
General consent.
जनरल कंसर्न.
General consent. So किसी state ने अगर general consent दे रखा है तभी CBI वहाँ पर jurisdiction इन्वोक कर सकती है. अगर consent हटा दिया state ने, तो वहाँ पर jurisdiction CBI का नहीं हो सकता.
सर मिनिस्ट्री ने इसकी सर होम मिनिस्ट्री का नहीं आता होगा ये.
हाँ, now that's a very interesting question. That's a very interesting question. Guys, मिनिस्ट्री कौन सी होगी? सोचो. Guys, लक्ष्मीकांत में है, फिर भी इतना टाइम लग रहा है सोचने में. मतलब ये this is a blank.
प्लान ट्रेनिंग.
Sorry?
पर्सनल एंड
Department of Personnel and Training.
UPT.
तो मिनिस्ट्री कौन सी हो जाएगी? And you have this minister, guys, there. Minister of Personnel.
हाँ जितेंद्र सिंह.
You have Minister of Personnel, guys. UPT उसी के अंडर आएगा. पूरा नाम क्या है मिनिस्ट्री का?
पब्लिक ग्रीवेंसेस.
Yes. Yes. Minister of Personnel. ठीक है. और यही आपकी कंट्रोलिंग मिनिस्ट्री रहेगी once you clear the exam and till you finish the training. Right? It will be DUPT. डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ पर्सनल एंड ट्रेनिंग. उस मिनिस्ट्री के अंडर में एक डिपार्टमेंट.
Yes.
इसका मोटो गाइस बस ध्यान में रखो, ऑल्दो ये आपके लक्ष्मीकांत में है लेकिन थोड़ा सा अनकन्वेंशनल है. सीबीआई है, मोटो में क्या है? इंडस्ट्री, इंपार्शियलिटी, इंटीग्रिटी. ये इंडस्ट्री वो इंडस्ट्री नहीं है. ठीक है, हम बोलते हैं ना कि सम ही इज अ वेरी इंडस्ट्रियस पर्सन.
हार्ड वर्किंग.
यस सर.
किसको बोलते हैं इंडस्ट्रियस?
सर वन हु इज वेरी लेबरस.
तो हार्ड वर्किंग वन कंपोनेंट. यहाँ पे लेबरस के साथ साथ डिलीजेंट, क्योंकि ये पुलिसिंग बॉडी है ना, सिर्फ हार्ड वर्क से काम नहीं चलेगा. डिलीजेंट एंड हार्ड वर्किंग, दैट इज इंडस्ट्रियस. गाइस, सीबीआई और सीबीआई डायरेक्टर रिपोर्ट्स टू
प्राइम मिनिस्टर. सीएमओ. नहीं सर, सेंट्रल विजिलेंस कमिश्नर.
गाइस, सीवीसी को रिपोर्टिंग होती है सीबीआई की.
यस सर.
ठीक है, इसका कॉन्टेक्स्ट हम देखते हैं. खास तौर पर गाइस, व्हेन यू हैव इकोनॉमिक ऑफेंसेस रिलेटेड टू करप्शन, स्पेशली वहां पर सीवीसी का रोल बढ़ जाता है.
Jumping back to the question, with reference to the organizations under the government of India, consider the following details. Now, guys, here a major portion of this question was almost verbatim predicted, especially row 2 and row 3. In row 3, we have Central Bureau of Investigation, that is CBI. When it comes to functions, we have to preserve values in public life and ensure the health of the national economy. Now guys, this particular item was very difficult to choose because when we think of CBI, we generally don't relate CBI with the health of the national economy and so on and so forth. But based on the sessions that we have just seen, based on the snippets that we have just seen, it was explicitly discussed when it comes to economic offenses and corruption related offenses. CBI reports to the CVC. This was explicitly discussed. That means this particular item has to be correct to preserve values in public life and ensure the health of the national economy. Also guys, the motto that was specifically discussed, industry, impartiality, integrity, this suits well with that description. Again guys, Ministry of Personal Grievance, Ministry of Personnel, Public Grievances and Pension, this was also explicitly discussed. So this was near verbatim predicted. Guys, row 2, Serious Fraud Investigation Office, SFIO, this was also explicitly present in that particular test. Function to investigate complex corporate frauds. And ministry, guys, it's not Ministry of Finance but Ministry of Corporate Affairs, as discussed in that particular test, also as given to students as part of the explanation. Guys, row 1, Central Economic Intelligence Bureau. Now here the ministry given is Ministry of Home Affairs. Now there is a method known as wordplay and feasibility test, using which our students were able to eliminate statement 1. That means statement 1 is incorrect. SFIO, again it is incorrect because of incorrect ministry. So the correct row is only row 3, CBI, this particular given item and this particular given ministry are correctly matched. So the correct answer here is option A, that is 1 or 1 only. And the students could answer it quite comfortably. Moving ahead. Guys, in Prelims 2026, UPSC asked this question on genetic medicines and related aspects. Similarly, in 2021 and in other years, UPSC had asked questions on genetic modifications, advancements in genetics, and their application in the domain of medicine. So guys, based on these insights, this particular question was predicted in this PIB active recall session. Guys, again, by clicking here, we can look at the timestamp. This was uploaded on 20th of May 2026, again, well before the prelims exam. Again, I'm increasing the speed to 1.5x.
अब इसमें इंपॉर्टेंट बात क्या हो जाती है कि हमने इंडिजिनस तरीके से इसको डेवलप किया है, इंडिजिनसली डेवलप्ड आरटी थेरेपी, ठीक है, इंडिया ने खुद डेवलप की है और ये प्रैक्टिकल तरीके से यूज हो रही है, ऐसा नहीं कि थ्योरेटिकल है, डेवलप की है और यूज भी हो रही है, ठीक है। उसका नाम है गाइस नेक्स्टार 19, नेक्स्टार 19 इज द नेम। इसमें जैसे स्वाति बता रही थी वही उसका मैकेनिज्म होता है कि देयर इज अ फॉर्म ऑफ जीन और इम्यूनोथेरेपी होती है बेसिकली। दिस इज नथिंग बट एन इम्यूनोथेरेपी। पेशेंट के जो टी सेल्स होते हैं वो एक्सट्रैक्ट किए जाते हैं, जेनेटिकली मॉडिफाई किए जाते हैं लैब में, जिसमें CD19 प्रोटीन जो होता है उसको टारगेट किया जाता है कैंसर सेल में, CD19 प्रोटीन इन अ कैंसर सेल, और फिर इसको री इन्फ्यूज किया जाता है इनटू द पेशेंट, जो कि आगे जाकर ट्यूमर्स को डिस्ट्रॉय करता है। और जब उसको आप एडिट करोगे जेनेटिकली, वो जाके उन्हीं सेल्स को अटैक करेगा। टी सेल्स एडिट होता है इसमें स्वाति। टी सेल्स जो होते हैं पहले से उनका काम इम्यून सिस्टम में ही होता है, टी सेल्स का, तो उनको जेनेटिकली मॉडिफाई किया जाता है और टारगेट CD19 को किया जाता है। नेक्स्टार 19 इसका नाम है गाइस, क्योंकि CD19 को टारगेट किया जा रहा है। गाइस CD19 टारगेट हो रहा है ओजस?
हाँ यस सर।
CD19, ठीक है, अच्छा ठीक है, फाइन। तो क्या हो गया ओजस?
नो सर।
अच्छा ओजस समझ गया,
हाँ
ओके।
Jumping back to the question, which of the following statements with regard to genetic medicine is or are correct? Guys, statement 3, it says genetic medicines alter the entire DNA sequence. Now, as discussed in that particular class under the micro theme of genetic medicine and interventions, guys, statement 3 is patently incorrect. The relevant intervention is given back to the relevant area and the cancerous cells, problematic cells, are attacked because of the edited DNA. If you eliminate statement 3, option B gets eliminated and option D gets eliminated. You are left only with option A and C. Statement 1 is common in both. Genetic medicines correct or compensate for the faulty genes responsible for disease. This is exactly what was being discussed in that PIB active recall session. I have to decide whether statement 2 is also correct or not. Statement 2 says engineered viruses and lipid nanoparticles are used as carriers of the genetic medicine. Now guys, based on the various methods including wordplay and feasibility test, our students were able to choose statement 2 and mark option C, that is 1 and 2, as the correct answer quite easily. So guys, I hope that it is as clear as water to you that the coaching industry is totally out of touch with the changing prelims pattern, and we are the only institution that are not only keeping pace with the changing pattern but also are in a position to predict huge number of questions year after year. Guys, based on students' requests, registrations have been made open for the early bird batch of Demolish Prelims 2027. Registrations will be frozen once the quota of 60 seats is filled, and the conventional batch will have a higher fee structure. Register now to secure your seat in the early bird batch. Do connect with us in the comment section, and thank you for sticking on till the very end.